folks, welcome to Myers Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
Welcome, friends. Welcome, folks, to another exciting edition of Treasure Talk. And I guess we're live, yes, but we
are indeed.
Okay, friends, today's show is brought to you by your friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure. And the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Treasure Talk guests and members belong solely to the guests and members and not necessarily to Myers Metal Detectors, Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, or Jeff Monin. And of course, the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of metal detecting and treasure hunting and to educate our members in a fun and informative manner. And we've got an exciting show tonight, don't we, Jeff?
Yes, we do. As everybody has been waiting that has an Equinox 600 or 800. A lot of you were waiting. Some of you do have those for the Coiltech coil for the Knox series. There were 3 different sizes. There was a little dilemma getting them. But with this COVID thing, there's been a dilemma getting anything, it seems like, except advice. So, Trevor is Phil holding one up. He's got, I think it's 15, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah, that's the 15. I've got a couple of these still left from the last order I got in. So that's an awesome coil. People love that one for beach and large area hunting. So,
well, good. Well, we got Trevor, the man from Coiltech, is with us tonight to give us an update and answer all your questions if you have any. So without any further ado, let's bring on Trevor and get this show a rockin' and a sockin'. What do you say, Phil?
Let's do it.
Okay, everybody, here is the man from Coiltech, Trevor.
Hey everyone, how you doing?
Welcome.
That was a good intro. Thank you very much.
Well, welcome. We're glad you're here with us. And you're all the way from Adelaide, Australia?
Adelaide, Australia. Yep, central, right in the middle of Australia, down the bottom. Yep.
And it's Tuesday morning there at 8 o'clock, right?
Yep. 8:33 a.m. in the morning here. So I've had my 17 coffees already to get ready for the day. So we're all good to go.
And we're here at Monday night at 7 o'clock. So it's kind of weird talking to you.
The thing is, Trevor, if all of a sudden we don't see you after 17 cups of coffee, we know where you're at and we know you'll be right back.
Yeah, that's right. Be right back, everyone.
You're right back. Well, awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on and give us an update because, it's been tough, I guess, with COVID, getting products. I mean, that's the biggest issue in my shop is not selling the products, it's getting the inventory. And it's we live and die by our inventory. So that's been an issue with not only your company, but a lot of companies due to the COVID virus. So I'm sure we're going to have some questions on that. But I guess
we got questions from YouTube already.
Do we? Well, that could be nice, Jeff, for sure. So is the supply going to increase anytime soon? Especially with a smaller size, the 5.
The 10x5 has been the most popular and the one that we're sort of pushing out the most at the moment through production. We are definitely ramping things up as best we can with the parts that we get supplied. So the main issue for production has been the little electronic chips that go on the PCB. So inside the coil, we need to terminate to a PCB, and that PCB we do buy from Minelab, which is the same PCB in their coils, but there's been really big shortages on the actual chip that goes on those PCBs. So it means supply from the manufacturer, even for Minelab, has been in short supply and really difficult to keep up. So we've got some good orders in with them, but we are, we've got drops that are coming to us over the next few months. And beyond September at the moment, I haven't got any visual on as to how many we're going to get, but we're hopeful that we'll still get, enough for our productivity to get through. So we've still got really good demand from many regions around the globe. So we're trying to get as many as we can push through production as possible. But yeah, it's really, really hard to say exactly how many we can get into the US over the next 3 months, but we're doing everything we can to try and feed our distributor so you guys can get it, because we do understand if you don't get product on your shelf, businesses do rely on that to keep turning over income to stay alive. And the customers definitely want it in their hands because they love just finding good treasure out in the field. So it's been a difficult run over the last 3 or 4 months, and we do apologize to everyone for these extended delays, and we do know there's a lot of people out there that have put down pre-orders and even prepayment for several months, and it's it's a real challenge for us to make sure that we keep everyone happy.
Yeah, I had some pre-orders, and then I get a little bit in. The pre-orders went out, and I had like 2 or 3 left, and now I had to put the pre-order sign back on the website and I still had a couple people purchase them. I think the last 2 or 3 days they bought some.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
the really hot one is the 10x5, which I have one right here, folks.
That's like gold. That one there, that one you could ask for $2.5
Is
million.
there a waiting list on that, Phil? That was a question from YouTube. You got a waiting list?
That's $219 for that one, and this one actually I was holding it for myself. So
you want to die? You got a death wish, don't you?
I do, because somebody's going to come in the shop tomorrow and say, "I want that coil that you
I
have."
saw that one. Yeah,
I know
that's
there's
right.
one
You had
guy-
one. I saw
I
it.
think Lawnmower Man 219 wants it.
Yeah, that's Chuck. I know he wants it too. And that brings us up to it's kind of out of my question thing here, but why don't we just talk about this? Tom Becker just handed me, or Jocelyn handed me this question from Tom Becker, and he's wanting and I'll let you answer this, the advantage of the Coiltech 10x5 versus the 11-inch coil.
Sure. Hey, Tom, thanks for the question. Essentially, the little 10x5 will be a far more maneuverable coil. So people really like it because it's able to get in between either rocks in the beach or on rocky ground. If you've got some stubble or overgrowth, you're able to really poke in and around with that coil. It's a little bit lighter as well, so you can enjoy the sort of a bit more balance with the coil on the shaft there. And it's very good at target separation and pinpointing because it's an elliptical coil. It's narrower. You're able to pinpoint a little bit easier, and target separation. There's not as many targets under the coil at once, so you can get some really good separation with performing, out in the field. So the 11-inch is a good standard coil, good coil as well. The 10x5 just has probably a little bit of an edge on it, just for maneuverability, target separation, and sensitivity.
Absolutely, and I would say for coin and relic hunting, especially if you're in heavy iron where there's a lot of targets everywhere, the smaller coil is always better. I haven't had a chance to use that one because you see it's still in the package.
Still in the package,
But, I've always used a 6-inch coil, and I just felt like it was lacking, because you got to move that coil so fast to cover any ground. So I've been looking forward to that, but unfortunately now here in Florida and Tampa, it's kind of hard to relic and coin detect this time of year because you got 90-degree plus heat and then 100% humidity. So I might have to wait another month or two. So do you think in the next few months you're going to have more of these coming into the U.S.?
Yeah, for sure. We are releasing some coils over to the US in the next 5 days. So we're just finishing off a few batches. So there will be another batch of coils coming over to the US, mainly 10x5s. So hopefully we can get quite a few more back orders sorted for everyone. So at this stage, over the next few months, we're allocating as much as we can fairly to the US. considering that we still have, you know, a bunch of orders from the UK, Europe, and Australia. The 10x5 has actually caught us out. We thought the 15 might be the best one, biggest seller, but the 10x5 is actually sort of 3-to-1 at the moment for most of the other coils.
Give me that one right there. Hey, I just, right off the top of my head, we had several people asking, say they're waiting 6 months for the 15-inch coil.
Yeah.
I actually have 2 of those in stock at the shop. So
Awesome.
if you haven't pre-purchased them with another company, or if you can, you know, get them to refund your money, I do have 2, so they're available. If you want to give me a ring tomorrow.
What's your phone number?
My
Pick 'em up.
phone number is, it's all over the place. It's 813-237-1939. But don't call me tonight. Call me tomorrow. Go
That's
ahead.
only if you're in the US, remember. If you're a US viewer,
Yeah,
US customers, you can ring
Yes.
Phil there.
I don't ship out of the country. So go ahead, Jeff.
Question from YouTube from Mark Friorella wants to know, do you have to do a factory reset with the new coil from Coiltech?
Good question, Mark. Thank you. And hello, how are you from Australia? No, you don't have to do a factory reset when you replug in a coil. We get that asked quite a bit. A lot of people can't. It's not that you can't do it or you shouldn't do it. It's up to you if you wish to do it. But there's no need to do a factory reset when you plug in a different coil, especially if you've got, you know, all your settings and everything that you prefer. You know, there is absolutely no need to do it. But if you wish to do it, that's perfectly fine. It shouldn't change any performance characteristics whatsoever with the coil.
Another question from YouTube from Maria Reese. She wants to know, is the 10x5 a real good coil to use on the beach?
Definitely, yeah. Hey Maria, how are you? Definitely a good coil for the beach. All 3 coils are fully submersible, so you can use them in any water courses or beaches. It's very maneuverable in the water, so being the smallest of the 3 coils that we make, it'll have the less drag. So if you are in the beach or in the surf, it's actually quite robust in that area. Dry sand, it's pretty good, no problems. Probably for the beach, if you were doing primarily beach hunting, the 15-inch has probably been the best one that we've seen people use on the beach because it's easy digging, so you can have good depth with it. If you're after the really small targets like the little earrings and little jewelry, then the 10x5 will be more sensitive than the 15, so be a good option for that.
Where's the 14x9 come in?
Yeah, well, that's a good point. The 14x9 is a good beach hunter too, really good for the water. It is a more robust coil than the other 2, so it's going to be really good in the water courses. If you're in the dry sand, it'll be able to push through those little lumps and bumps that are in the dry sand. So it'll be able to knock those down and get you quite close to the ground, so you get maximum depth. People are using it we've seen some gold being found with it here in Australia as well. People have used it in some gold fields in the gold mode for the 800. So really, really good option, the 14x9 as well. It's actually been more popular than we thought it would. So yes, it is a bit heavier, but it's still a very good performer.
What's the weight on that coil, the 14x9, Trevor?
Oh, now you've got me. That one's from memory. I'll have to check my website actually, but I would say it's actually about the same weight as the 15-inch round. I'm just having a look on our website. So how's that for not knowing it on the top of my head? My apologies. 14x9. If you go to our website, coiltech.com.au, look on the Knox series and you'll see some information there. The weight is approximately 790 grams. If anyone can do a quick conversion to ounces for yourselves over there, again, I'll need to ask Mr. Google for that.
Can't do it.
Absolutely.
790 grams, it doesn't have, I'll have to tell our web developers, it doesn't have ounces in there for the conversion. We should put ounces on there as well for our good friends that are using Imperial.
Yeah. You know, Maria was asking about the use of that 5x10, and I have sold some to people who use that, or 10x5 rather, the 10x5 on the beach, and they love it. And they were a little older and they wanted something lighter, and I think it fits the bill for that. The,
Agree.
the 6 is lighter. It might be a hair lighter. I'm not sure, but it's, to me, you got to swing it too much.
Yeah, the thing with the 6 is, you know, you don't have that coverage. With the 10x5, you've got 10 inches worth of sweep pattern. With a 6-inch, you've got, you know, obviously 6 inches. So you have to swing a little bit more to get the same type of coverage. So the beauty with the elliptical coils is they're maneuverable because they're narrow and they're long, you know, the 10x5, 14x9. So you've got a really good sweep pattern with that. So very good options. My favorite's always elliptical. Whenever I go out either coin hunting or gold prospecting, I always default to a 14x9 or 17x11 for gold hunting. For the Equinox, it's 10x5 or 14x9. If I'm on the beach, I'll usually use a 15. If it's not too rocky and overgrown, or not overgrown, but like too rocky, because some of the beaches can have a lot of rocks where it catches a lot of the good stuff. So the 10x5 is good for that area.
Yeah, and Mark Hoover, Jocelyn handed me this on Facebook. Just found my oldest U.S. coin 3 days ago after getting the Coiltech coil. So
Awesome. Well done.
Really good at separating out targets. And
Fantastic.
yes,
Excellent work.
and
It's
we
always exciting.
so we the reason it's taken us so long to get the coils really is because of the high demand. How many coils like the 10x5 have you made already?
So we are currently at 1,200 serial number. So coming through production at the moment. So for us, a smaller company than the big boys like Minelab and Garrett's and that, we, you know, to build 1,000 coils in well, it's actually, we're over 1,000 with the 10x5, we're over 1,000 with the 15, and we're at about the 800-900 mark for the 14x9. So we're over 3,000 coils built pretty much since January, which is when production really started to ramp up because we started to get part supply around January. So to have 3,000 coils built for us over sort of 7-8 months is fantastic going. We actually had 4 weeks, almost 4 weeks of no production during June due to part just dried up. So we literally had 0 parts for around about 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, which, you know, obviously puts a real big delay, and that's why people are experiencing another month's worth of delay because we've got to catch up again. So we are seeing supply come through now, which we're very thankful for. And yeah, I'm just out there cracking the whip on the staff. I don't normally let them home. Usually they have to stay here 24 hours, no sleep, and 17 coffees for the day to make sure that they keep producing. Because if we don't produce enough, we can't satisfy our wonderful customers out there. So,
Yeah,
and that's not true, by the way. There is a disclaimer there that none of what I said just above is true because we don't enforce any stupid labor.
They get it with 17 cups. They got to have a restroom break at least once.
Get it one restroom break every.
Yeah, we have portable toilets sort of in every location around the place. Just
oh goodness.
Sorry, that's me being just silly.
So
grading fast.
is the chips and the coils, that way it's called a smart coil? I know Minelab calls theirs smart coils. It's because they've got the chip in it.
Yeah, it does several things. It helps talk to the detector to provide depth information and target ID as well. It's also got secure devices on there, so it's proprietary chips. So we do have an agreement with Minelab and security with Minelab to be able to make these coils. Mm-hmm. The biggest reason why Minelab is chipping everything that they make from now on is because of the counterfeiters out there. They had huge troubles, as we all know, sort of in the 10, even 5 years ago. There was huge troubles with a lot of counterfeit GPXs. The Garrett's were getting counterfeited, and everything was getting counterfeited pretty much. And so Minelab put security devices in their coils and detectors. So essentially the two have to talk to each other to run through a secure program, and then they're able to operate. Otherwise they won't operate. So yeah, that it's smart chip in the sense that it does several things to help the detector understand what's being seen in the ground by the coil.
Right. and a lot of folks probably don't know it, but if you turn that detector on without a coil, it's gonna shut down because I guess they're not communicating. And I know years ago the counterfeits were extremely bad with especially the higher end gold prospecting detectors. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I don't think it's a big of an issue today, or at least I don't see that. But that is a good point. Why people should purchase from somebody they know, authorized dealer, and not just somebody on the internet that they come across, because then they don't have to worry about those issues. Go ahead, Jeff.
Question off of YouTube from CZ Kid. Casey wants to know if the skid plate issue had been remedied. I guess some people were having problems with the skid plate coming off in the water.
Yeah, so that was mainly the 10x5, the 14x9 and 15s. We haven't seen any issues with. I think we've had about 4 people comment to us directly about the skid plate coming off. It's purely just when our plastics molders mold the skid plates when they come out of the injection molding machine. If they don't get the timing right for cooling and injection time, the skid plate can be slightly larger or smaller. So we go through them here as best we can to make sure that they fit well and they want to hold on. Some of them have fallen off in the water if there's a little bit extra pressure on them sideways, or if they're not fitting as well as some of the other ones. They have fallen off in the streams, mainly in the water, because as you're pushing through the water, the skid plate's sort of dragging along, and it's the only thing that really can dislodge. So like I said, we've seen around about 4 people have that issue. We get them either a new skid plate or that's the only way that we can do it, is get them a new skid plate. So 4 out of over 1,000 coils is pretty good. Most of them are hanging on there. The coils are very robust, so if the skid plate does come off, it doesn't void your warranty if you continue to use the coil. Skid plates are there just to assist for a little bit of extra rubbing that you may do, especially on the dry land. If you're in the water on the beach and those sort of areas, I often take my skid plate off and just run it without the skid plate, because there's very low abrasiveness with that area. If you're in a very rocky area and things like that, or coarse ground, then yes, maybe keep the skid plate on. But sometimes in the water, I'll take that skid plate off just to make it a little bit lighter and easier to push through.
Yeah, slide to the water easier.
Yeah, so if you do have an issue with your skid plate on your 10x5, please let us know. You can hit us up through coiltech.com.au on our contact us page there. We're more than happy to discuss it with you. We don't see it as a huge problem, but we have alerted our plastics molders to this, so we're trying to get that fitment as best as possible.
While we're on issues, have you had any issues with coil ears?
No, the only issue we've had a couple where they've broken in transit. So, that could be one of those famous people handling the boxes, tossing it like a quarterback. So, at this stage, we've had no field issues.
Awesome.
So it's been really good. So we're really happy with that. That was probably the biggest thing everyone was nervous about when we were releasing the product, making sure that the wing design was nice and strong. And
right.
We've only seen a couple of issues either through transit, there. So it's been very good. The 15s have had next to no. 14x9, we've had 1 or 2 transit issues. 10x5 has been really strong as well. So people can have the confidence that these ears will hold up.
Awesome. All right, Tom Becker is asking, does your coils give a false reading when you bump the sand like the Minelab 11-inch coil does sometimes?
Well, hey, Tom, thanks for the question. Look, if you've got your sensitivity up quite a bit, most coils will make a bit of a chirp or a noise when you do bump things. They're very sensitive pieces of equipment, and even though they're fully potted with epoxy, so everything's really rigid in there, you can still get some microphonics vibrations and things like that through cable, through the PCB, through the windings. So that's where you're getting a little bit of bump sensitivity. I haven't heard of things being too bad out there with our product. Occasionally you will find that pretty much any coil will have a bit of bump sensitivity in certain conditions. If you're in really mineralized, sandy areas, you know, that black sand that's in there, it can make it a bit more problematic as well, because the machine's just trying to deal with some extra mineralization and extra target response. So if you are getting extra noise and your sensitivity's say on 20, we normally test here on 20 in the factory because we're quite a noisy environment, but we can get a relatively smooth threshold here. If you're not flat out with your sensitivity and you're still getting a lot of frustrating noise, definitely contact us and we can chat with you a bit more about it. But try a few different settings in that area. Sometimes running the coil not as sensitive in certain areas can be a benefit, because if you push it too high in some areas, it can overload or make the machine a little bit more chattery, and you might miss some of those really good signals.
Absolutely. So most of the time, yeah, when the sensitivity is maxed out, like sometimes I'll do that on the beach. I'll run it real hot, and then if you bump the coil in the wet sand, it's going to sound off.
Yeah.
So try turning the sensitivity down a little bit, and it might take care of that. Now, I did get a question from Roy Goodall. Will the ear protectors from the Minelab fit the Coiltech coils? And that's a big no on that one, isn't that right, Trevor?
Yeah, I've never really thought that the ear protectors were necessary. I'm not overly familiar with them and never had any experience with those ear protectors. They're not a Minelab product, are they?
No.
It's sort of like an aftermarket.
Yes,
people were making these protectors.
Yes, they digitally print them, and I see on my end a lot of times that people put them on there just because they're afraid that the coil ear is going to snap.
Yeah.
And I know with Trevor's coils and with any coil, make sure you do change your washers. Don't wear the washers out and then have the hard plastic of the coil ear going against the hard plastic of the shaft, rubbing back and forth like sandpaper, thinning them both out. That can happen.
That can happen.
The detector for now I lost the word. To get up and down with as a cane. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right. I think if you you know, when you're kneeling down, if you're getting back up, try and remove, you know, not use the shaft to get back up, because any sideways movement on the wings can be you know, that's where you're going to get extra pressure on that wing and put too much force. The general bumping of the coil where the shaft is, and the general bumping shouldn't have any effect with the coil. We did some testing here on all 3 coils, and every time the shaft broke before the wings. So yeah, we were pretty confident that these wings were going to last. So if you want to use, again, it's personal choice. If you want to use ear protectors for peace of mind, go for it. But I'd be confident that it wouldn't be necessary.
Yeah. Well, I think when your coils are different than the other coil, I think that the coil ears, I've seen people, and they always break at the most inopportune time. So that's why people are putting them on the Minelab products.
Yeah. No, well, some to be honest with you, I remember one now. There was one of our 10x5 that where the hole is for the bolt, there was a crack that came above that to the top of the ear. Now, I really don't know how that happened. It was only one out of all of them. Like I said, we've made over 1,200 now. So, you know, that could have been a possible manufacturing fault here, because we do drill those holes out in the wings. And when they're drilled, if the drill goes through too quick or on a slight incorrect angle from when the person's drilling them, it can put a hairline crack in those wings. And it may have come from that area there. So that's just being honest with everyone that, yes, okay, there was one that had a hairline crack in it, but we've seen no others at this stage. So if you want to use ear protectors, no problems, but they will need to be redesigned for our wing design.
They would have to be, yes. The Minelab ears are totally different than yours.
Correct. Yeah, we've put little sort of returns on our wings if
Right.
you have a look at them.
Yes,
On
they're
the
like a
15.
little fan out on it.
A
And
little fan on the 14x9 and 10x5, and the 15-inch is quite solid with a couple of extra
right.
ribs on the side of the wings there just to help keep that nice and strong. So, yeah, I'd be very confident to say that people shouldn't have much of a problem at all.
Absolutely. So, Jeff, we are doing a drawing tonight, aren't we? Because
Yes, we are.
everybody keeps asking on the page, are we doing a drawing? And I think we're doing
I'll do a drawing. What would they like me to draw? I've got my whiteboard here and I can do a nice squiggle for them.
I think it's going to do a drawing.
A drawing?
No, I guess we're doing a Coiltech swag bag tonight.
Yes. Yep.
Yep, we
Okay.
are. We're
So-
not doing it yet, but we're
No,
going to do it.
I guess the folks are getting a little antsy.
They're getting
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, they better just, have another beverage and calm down.
Now, calm down a little bit.
Another
Okay.
coffee?
Let's see. Question number 4 I got here. Are there any other coil innovations coming from Coiltech for Minelab detectors? You got anything new in the works?
Yes, we have. We're partnering very well with Minelab at the moment to look at extra coils for their detectors. There was a leak on our website about 6,000 GPX 6,000 coils in 2022. That's about all I can say at the moment. But yes, we are looking at new models from Minelab. We already have the existing models covered, GPX, SDC as well. We do some coils for the SDC 2300 for the gold hunting. Anyone out there that has an Explorer or an E-Track, we do 15-inch coils to suit those as well. So we try and cover all the bases as best as possible.
Absolutely. Hey, I had a question on Facebook. What is the warranty on the Coiltech coils?
2 years from the date of customer purchase.
Okay.
So as soon as you buy that coil, you'll have 2-year warranty, and that covers all manufacturing defects, faults, depending on, how well it's used as well. It doesn't cover any sort of faults from customer use or general use, but manufacturing faults as per standard warranties, we cover all of that for 2 years. We do ask everyone to register your warranty on our website through coiltech.com.au. There is a warranty registration page. It's not a requirement to get you 2 years. Legally, we still cover you for that, no problems. But we do like people registering it so it's a proof of purchase, because when we get coils back or we get alerted to a warranty, we can look that up pretty quickly and justify that that is a warranty product.
Absolutely. So, folks, be sure to register your coil, because then you're not calling me asking for a receipt from 2 years ago and I can't find it. So don't do that to me. So register your warranty. That way they don't have to worry about their receipt, right? If they register.
Yeah, that's right. It's an extra layer for us. Occasionally we do ask for receipts and people provide them, which we're very thankful for. But if you register it on our website, that does give an extra layer of confidence for us and the customer to say, yeah, I've registered that, and we can quickly look that up. We only use it for warranty registration. There is a checkbox when you're registering your warranty, whether you want to be added to our mailing list or not. And on our mailing list, we do a monthly newsletter, which gives you new product information, any of the stories. And we also showcase our latest discoveries winner. So if we do have a latest discoveries monthly competition. So if you do find something great with a Coiltech product, you can send us through a photo and a bit of a story, which we can use and publish in social media and a magazine here in Australia and the world. And you get a chance to win a new coil. So you go, and the prize is offered to, the story is voted on by all the staff here. So basically everyone reads it and puts their vote down on the best story and the best pictures and everything, and then that person wins. So it's a good competition. If you have found something really cool with a Coiltech product, like that gentleman that's found his oldest coin, gives a bit of a story about it and a photo and on the product as well, that always makes us smile. And then that way, you could win an extra coil of an offer for that month.
That's awesome. So yes, Mark Hoover, and he's already an award-winning writer in the American
Wow.
Digger magazine. So he could write a story and send it to you.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that one, Mark. Excellent.
Yes, and you put it on your digital newsletter, then, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We showcase it on the newsletter. It goes on our website, and we put it on our social media pages as well, just as to show it off. If people don't want to enter because they want to be a bit more private, it can be entered as anonymous. So that's no problems in that regards, because we do respect everyone's privacy.
Yeah, I think people, and Jeff will attest to this because he started another show called Treasure Tales. People like to tell their stories when they find something really cool. So, yeah, Jeff just started doing that last week, and that seemed people like it a lot, don't they, Jeff?
Seem to. And by the way, if any of y'all want to come on Treasure Tales and tell a couple treasure stories, get up with me. Y'all know what my phone number is. You can email me here or PM me on Facebook, whatever. Just let me know and we'll get you scheduled.
Very nice. Well done, Jeff. That's good. Yeah, we find the same. Everyone's, really excited about their find, and they want to share it with people because, everyone gets a bit more excited about getting out there too. You see someone find some good coins or some good gold, and you go, right, I'm going to get out there as well and find some too. So it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to answer this one here. Jim Elkins says, what about if you bought it through pre-order and just received it 5 months later? I think the warranty would start when they receive the product.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Not from your, if you have put a pre-order, that would be unfair. So yeah,
Yes.
from the date that you receive the product.
Absolutely. All righty. Well, let me keep going down my list of questions here. And we talked about this a little bit, but the most popular size on the Knox coil, that's the 10x5, correct?
10x5, yeah, especially in the US. It's actually been the 15-inch in the UK, and through Europe, they like the 15-inch. US and Australia like the 10x5. And that might flip around as time goes on too, because people, maybe covering different ground and want to go back over the same ground that they've used the 10x5 and 11-inch on, and with a different coil, and you can find more coins. As just like Mark said as well, he went to an area where he's been before, and different coil found a different target. So it's very good to go over areas that you have had some good treasures from before with a different coil.
Oh,
I don't think that you've gotten rid of all the targets or found all the targets with one coil type. You need to go over with another coil type if you found some good coins or targets in that area.
Absolutely. It's always good to go over the same property many times, especially if you found a lot of good stuff there. Try a different coil size, different direction, slow it down, do all different things. And that's what I do. If I get an old area, I'm going to do that. Absolutely. Now, what do you attribute the 10x5 being so popular in Australia to?
I think they use it a lot here for gold hunting. We sell quite a few through the Victorian region and through the eastern states, and a lot of the people use the Equinox 800 as a entry-level gold machine. So they put it in gold mode, and the 10x5 gives them a little bit of extra maneuverability and sensitivity for the small little nuggets that may be around. It's also good because some of those areas are quite overgrown, so they can maneuver that through rocky areas and bushy areas to try and find a few extra little nuggets if they can. The Equinox 800 is great in trashy areas. A lot of the old timers used to just throw out their cans and bits of wire and everything they used to use, as I'm sure people have done in many regions. But the old timers were classics of throwing their old sardine cans and cans out that they had all their food with that rust away and over the years become tiny little flakes of iron. So in those areas, people can discriminate those things out and just look for the good targets.
Yeah, I think that's why it's popular here in the U.S. because there's just so much trash in the ground. I'm not saying Americans are pigs, but
Where we get them all around the world, I'm sure.
They like to throw their rubbish everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's our hobby, is cleaning up trash and
Yeah.
putting the good stuff in it. So I think the smaller coil, that's why it's popular here. It's just because, you get 200 years of activity. If you're lucky and on an old place like that, there's just so many nails and bolts and junk in the ground, and it just allows us to separate more targets. So that's why I think it's so popular here. You got one, Jeff?
No, I got a cramp.
Okay, I thought you were telling me you got a good question there, but just a cramp. Okay. Here's a good one. It seemed like Europe and Canada got all the coils so much faster than the U.S. What's up?
Yeah. We actually held out on the US for as long as possible because we thought we didn't want to send coils to the US. So we just sent to different regions around the world just to make everyone annoyed. That is so not the truth. It seems that way. So what happened initially, and I'll give you a bit of an initial story, is the UK ordered all the 10x5s and the US ordered all the 15 inch. So that's the way we went in the first couple of months, is lots of 15s, lots of 10x5s, as many as we could get, of course. And then it actually flipped pretty quickly that people wanted 10x5s in the US and 15s in the UK. So we had to sort of, switch that over when we were shipping, and it sort of caught us a little bit off guard. So it meant things were slowing down for the US.
Yeah.
Now, I know the UK got a little bit of an extra amount of 10x5s that were surplus to their orders because everyone had ordered 15s, which meant they had a few extra in stock. Some of the dealers kept some in stock, which was different to the US because everything just flew out off the shelves as soon as it came in. So it seemed like they got more, but really, when you're talking 300 million people in the US plus, and the amount of prospectors that are out there, the vast majority of people can't get something as quickly as what they want in that sense compared to other countries that have less population. So there's just more people prospecting in the US that want these products. So it may seem that that's the case, but I can assure everyone we're being as fair and as just as possible in getting the coils over into the regions. If anything, in the last few months, don't tell the Europeans we've said this and the UK people, but we've been throwing a lot more into the US. It's just that there's so many on back order. It's actually quite humbling to not think that our product is in such demand. We do thank everyone, but yeah, it's just the demand out there is very huge, and our productivity and supply hasn't been as been able to keep up with that at this stage.
Yeah, and especially since you're basically, you make coils for the CTX and for the other Minelab products. What was the biggest run of coils you made before the Equinox coils?
It would have to be the elite coils for the GPX 5000s for the gold hunting side of things. We had a huge run on those. The new flat winding style that we did for the GPX in the elite coils surpassed any other monoloop coil out there in the field. So we were very happy with that, and people saw the benefits straight away. So we were inundated again, but we've never had a release like the Nox, even though that was the best one. We've sold many thousands of the elite coils in around the world. The Equinox has been by far our biggest release ever for Coiltech. So we're very thankful for that. But it's certainly for a company with, we've got 16 of us here, and we've got 11 production staff. So for a smaller company like us to have that many on order certainly makes everyone really happy and keeps everyone entertained and busy. And we don't, like you said, we've got 25 plus different models of coils that we make in double D and mono formats for coin and treasure. And we also do other work as well for electronic windings for like little inductors and toroids for the electronics industry here in Australia. So we've actually got huge orders in for some of these little electronic wire wound components as well. So we've got two sides to the business, Coiltech Manufacturing and Coiltech Electronics. Mm-hmm. So that, keeps us very busy as well. So we're doing everything we can to try and push as much in production into the coils and also keep our electronics customers happy. So yeah, a little bit of an explanation as to why, but yeah, it's a bit of a juggle.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mark Hoover is asking, and I think we already discussed this, are they going to make coil for the new GPX 6000s? And you had just mentioned you're in the works of that now, correct?
That's right. Yeah, 2022, we're looking at releasing some products. So we'll inform people more later as the year goes on. But at this stage, we are looking at coils for that machine and working with Minelab Direct on that.
Someone is asking, are you guys going to make a pinpointer?
No, we used to make a pinpointer, but yeah, no, we're not on the metal detector side of things. We solely just concentrate on the coils, so we can put all of our energy and engineering effort into that here as well. So we do have a mechatronics engineer on site who is helping us with all the engineering mechanically and electronically. So, and she's doing a great job. She's 2 years out of her degree and she's doing an excellent job.
Question from YouTube from Thomas Cowan. For Trevor, he says, can you make me a custom coil 10x5 for my AT Max and one also for my 1266X Fisher?
Wow. Thank you for that. Hey, Tom. Unfortunately not. We don't make coils to suit those models. We're not doing custom coils at this stage because obviously that would take away from Knox production. So we want to keep everything moving and along in that flavor. So yeah, unfortunately, we do appreciate you asking the question, and you know, wish I had a different answer, but unfortunately, at this stage, we're not looking at any other brands or models. We're sticking with the Minelab brand.
Just a Minelab brand. Okay, Jeff, it looks like you've got the banner rolling. So
I do indeed.
It's the time, huh?
Yes, it is indeed. And Trevor was kind enough to give away tonight a Coiltech swag pack, which I think it has a shirt and a hat and a couple other little doodads in it, right, Trevor?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, some like a stubby cooler and key ring, and as much as we can put in the bag as possible, we'll get it out to the lucky winner.
Okay, good. Very good. So here's the drill, guys. Y'all ought to know it by now. And if you're new, welcome. Here's what you got to do. If you're watching on Facebook, you registered at the post I put up on Facebook. If you're a YouTuber, then you saw the video to enter on YouTube. So when I put all the names into a random name picker, I pick the names with some alternates in case they're not watching. You have to be tuned in to win. When your name is called, you have 3 minutes to either text or Facebook Messenger Phil or myself with your name and that you are here. And then what you will do, and this is the only way we want you to do it, is if you are here and your name is called, then you need to email treasuretalkshow@gmail.com with your info. In this case, it'll be your name, address, phone number, shirt size. So we can get that. I'll get it tonight or tomorrow morning off to Trevor. And you know, the swag pack's coming from Australia, so it may take a couple of days. But
at least.
I think we've got a lot of stuff in the US already, so we'll see if we can get it direct from the US from our distributor. Otherwise, it'll come from Australia.
Okay.
So it'll come from Texas if it doesn't come from Australia.
Yep.
Okay. Well, the winner tonight, and you'll have 3 minutes to text or Facebook Messenger Phil or myself at the numbers going across the little ticker on the bottom of the screen. And it is 7:49. So by 7:52, we got to hear from you. Rachel Elmore, you are the winner of the Coiltech swag pack. Text me or Phil or Facebook Messenger.
Absolutely. Yes, for sure. And folks, Jeff, I'm going to do a public service announcement right here. The Tampa Metal Detecting Club meeting is tomorrow night from 7 to 9. And it's at the ACCI building on Fletcher Avenue, 13336 North Central Avenue. That's on Central, just below Fletcher Avenue. And it's a new meeting location. Hopefully it'll work out because the last one, we've started our clubs, most of them have started meeting again. And it looks like we might have the winner. But
we do. Rachel is here.
Well done, Rachel.
Yes, awesome. So anyway, the club meeting's tomorrow night, folks. If you're in the Tampa area, you should come check it out. And I may have one of Trevor's products with me. I might not, because I might not get out there with alive. So
Yeah.
if you're in the
Take
area, yes.
Take your personal protection gear with you just in case that 10x5 goes with you, okay? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But it's an awesome coil, and the people who've got them and used them just love them.
Yeah, we've had some really good success already with them, and we know people that haven't got the coil don't like hearing that because they think they're missing out. But don't worry, there's coins and treasure in the ground with your name on them waiting there as soon as you get those coils. So
Absolutely. And, you know, with the chip shortage and all, I know MindLab has the same thing because we haven't seen one of their 6-inch coils in probably 4 or 5 months. They don't have any. I still have some of their larger coils, but they don't have any more of those in stock either.
yeah, that's right. It's affecting all manufacturers in the metal detection industry, let alone every electronics industry pretty much out there. You know, car industry, we've heard of many stories where cars are not available on massive back order because some of the boards that go in the cars nowadays are all electronic. Everything's run by that. So, yeah, it's affecting many different products out there. So it's not just the metal detection industry that are on delays. So, you know, we just keep encouraging everyone to be as patient as possible. It's something the world hasn't seen before, really. And it's going to take a few years for these chip manufacturers to ramp up to try and meet the demand, because I don't think the demand's going to slow.
No, I think with that detector, it's just such a nice, lightweight, waterproof detector with the right coil on it. It sells itself at my shop. So
Yeah, for sure. It's excellent unit. Excellent.
yeah, excellent detector, and I'm glad you've sold so many of the coils and have so many pre-orders for it.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you that's a good product and people want it. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and the middle size, I guess it's a 14x9. That's the only one I didn't pre-order a lot of. I ordered some, but just not that many. I was more on the smaller side. I told Robert, who's the distributor, I want a lot of the small size because Relic point hunters just love that size.
Yeah, that's right.
And it does such a better job than the 6-inch, I think, because you're covering that additional ground. So
yeah,
I can't wait to get more in stock. And you said you
absolutely.
get some in the next week to the US?
Yeah, that's right. So we've got another shipment that's being prepared at the moment, and a few production batches coming through. So we're going to feed as much as we can into the US, and we have another order going to the UK as well for mainly 15 inches. So we're trying to sort of get that happening, and then over the next few weeks after that, we start to allocate to some other regions around the world. And as you can appreciate, with all the demand, we've got to try and be as fair as possible. So every 4 to 6 weeks, we look at a shipment in a different region. That's how we've been trying to manage it. We know it's not the greatest. Everyone would love to have their coils straight away, but you know, we're doing the best we can for sure. But I wanted to say that the 14x9 is certainly a good coil as well. You know, I know we talk a lot about the 10x5 and 15 because they are the most popular that are on demand at the moment. But the 14x9's performance in the field is very good. Probably the only thing that's hindered its sales is the weight. It is a little bit heavier for its size, so we call it more robust. So, you know, if you are looking for something that's going to push down some grass that's growing, or like I said, with the dry sand on the beach where you can push through the dry sand, or in the water, that one has got really good coverage and excellent performance with its characteristics as well. So certainly that's not one to shy away from if you're looking for a different size than the 11.
Right, and I guess it's weighted then, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a thicker skeletal frame. So we make these coils what we call open web. So there is much cut out. There's as much cut out of them as possible to help reduce weight. But we need to also think about how the coil flexes and its robust nature. And the 14x9, we made with a bit thicker channels, and so it's filled up with a little bit more epoxy, and that's where we're getting the weight from.
Right.
It's not so much the plastics or anything like that in there. It's essentially to make them waterproof, we've got to fill them with epoxy. And because the channels are a bit thicker, they get a little bit more epoxy in than some of the other skeletal frame coils. So it just makes it feel a little bit heavier for its size. But when you actually look at the three of them, it is still the middle weight of the three coils. The 15-inch is about 830 grams. So probably about 2 to 3 ounce, well, an ounce or two more than the 14x9. But, it is still the middle weight coil, but a very good one to run as well.
Absolutely. And I guess the 14x9 would be good out in the water too, or in the water.
Yeah, definitely. That's negative buoyancy. So you just put it in the water, it want to sink. So it'll stay down nicely for the operator, and with a bit of wave action, it hardly moves. So it's a very good one if you're in the surf or in a flowing stream, and want to keep that coil down so you can get some good depth and target separation.
Right. Yeah, if you were in a stream or in faster moving water, that would aid you in that. So that's a good reason why you need all three coils. You need the 15, you need the 9x14, and you need the 10x5. You need to cover your bases, folks.
That's right. That's right. And like we said, not one coil will do everything, but people buy the trifecta.
Right.
And we certainly appreciate it. That's right. Yeah.
So come see me, get the 800, and then buy the three coils, and we'll ship them to you when we get them. And that'll be soon, right?
A question off YouTube.
Right.
From Harley. He wants to know if Trevor ships to Canada, and I can answer that one. Yes, he does, because there's a bunch of the Canucks that got the coils.
Yes.
Yep. We have a distributor over there called Radio World, and they deal with a few of the other dealers that are local in their region in Canada there. So we do ship over there. I know there's another order in our system for Radio World at the moment. So I'm not sure how many coils they may have left, but see your local dealer over there and ask about Coiltek Knox coils, and they can point in the right direction.
Yeah, I think there's another new dealer just opened up in Forest City, metal detectors up in Ontario, I believe. London, Ontario, I think it is. And so they'll probably be stocking your coils as well, Trevor.
Yeah, absolutely. If you go to our coiltek.com.au page, there's a where to buy section if you're from a different region, or if you want to find out where your local dealer is, and just click on your region in there, and it will list all the current dealers that have signed up to our dealer agreement that can handle the product. So like Jeff said before, and Phil said before, make sure you're buying through a authorized Coiltek dealer, and that goes every product that you buy too. Just go through an authorized dealer. That way it's coming direct from the manufacturer through them.
And you don't have to worry about counterfeiting if you buy from your local dealer. And check if you're in a different country. Of course, we don't ship out of the U.S., and we have a lot of people from a lot of countries all over the world, don't we, Jeff?
We do indeed. We've got them from all over the world. And another reason to buy from your local dealer is that the personal touch. If you've got questions on how to put the coil on, anything about the coil or the detector, you call the dealer, and he's going to spend the time to walk you through it and make sure that you're happy with the product that you got. If you just buy it off anywhere, the service is not there. So, in this hobby, it's definitely pays to deal with the dealer.
Absolutely. Agree. Look at the wealth of information that Phil and Jeff have here. You can go and see them, talk with them, with Jeff with his treasure stories now as well. Those stories can help you understand what to do out in the field as well, because people can talk about some of the tips and tricks that they have. And the dealers are very knowledgeable, and we thank them for sure for helping us promote the product. But buy from your registered dealer. Check out the where to buy page on our Coiltek website. And, you can't go wrong.
Yeah. And especially if you're in another country. But if you're in USA, just call me. I'll ship it to you.
There you go. There you go. He's got it. Yeah, look at that. Look, your phone's off the hook already. I can hear it all ringing in the
I can
background.
hear it. They're wanting those coils. Yes, for sure.
Right, and the clock on the wall says
Oh,
we're
geez.
almost out.
Yes, it's getting real close there, isn't it, Jeff? So, it is. Well, no, it's 8 o'clock on my computer. But Trevor, I want to thank you for being
Thank
on
you.
here, and hopefully you're going to send us a big load of coils next week, and I'm counting on it. My customers are too. So, hint, hint.
I'll put in a good word with Robert for you.
Yes, please do so. And Jeff, thank you. And Jocelyn, of course, thank you for handing me all the questions and helping me on my end. She does an awesome job. So I thank her every week for doing that, because she sits there and answers me the questions. Oh, ask them this one. And it works out. And
Yeah.
And every time I'm down there, I pour her a glass of wine with ice cubes in it. So
there you go. She likes the ice in her wine.
Nice.
Doesn't like it real strong. But you know what you're saying about contact a local dealer in this show here, and our purpose is to promote the hobby of treasure hunting and metal detecting, and to educate our members in a fun, informative manner. And I think we've done that tonight. So I want to thank you, Trevor, and thank you, Jeff, and I'll let you sign us off.
Yeah,
All
thanks,
right.
gentlemen. Appreciate you having me on. See you to everyone.
Treasure, thanks, Trevor. You know, we could call you Treasure because you are
Treasure
a treasure.
Trevor. There you go.
He's
You are a
TT.
treasure. We want to really thank you for coming on and explaining to
Thank you.
everybody more about the Coil Tech Knox Series coils and
My
some
pleasure.
of the dilemmas that have occurred. And we'll have you on again soon. And we just want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day. And I know you're busy.
Yes.
We want to just say
Okay.
thank you. And I want everybody out there, if you want to be on Treasure Tales, and we are on at 8:30 every Thursday night. So you need to get up with me somehow, or text, PM, or email if you want to be on Treasure Tales, and we'll get you hooked up. So with that being said, we are out of here. Phil, thanks. Jocelyn, thanks. I got a bottle of wine for you. Trevor, thank you very much. And
Thank you.
everybody, happy hunting and dig deeper.
Dig
Be
deeper.
safe.
We'll see you guys. Have
See
fun.
ya.